Hello traders, Matt here, and I want to do a market update for this week. This week is a shortened trading week for us here in the US. It is Thanksgiving holiday, and one of the reasons for this late video is I've had family in my face for the past few days, which has been totally awesome. Wouldn't change it for the world. And now I'm getting to this video. So I wanted to start with talking about the crypto total market cap and global liquidity. And yeah, I think it's a very interesting conversation, and let's get into it. So if we look at right now and we compare it back here to this move, a couple things that we have that are very similar. We had negative global liquidity here, and we have negative right here. We had a move up here with global liquidity, and then another larger move up. So we had a like a camel hump, so to speak. Over here we had the same thing. Didn't really get negative, and it was kind of short. You had global liquidity come in, and price still continued to move sideways here. What does that say? People just really didn't believe in crypto. The people that did got in here, and you didn't really have that many new people. And then crypto started to take off. Here, however, is like this because you have a lot of new entrants into crypto. Over here, you had a lot of the early adopting retail over here. And over here, you have institutions starting to pay attention. You have companies like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, for example. And now you have other companies starting to jump in the mix. For example, Microsoft is doing I think it's on December 12th, they're doing a stockholder meeting to vote on should they buy into Bitcoin. You're going to have other companies starting to do that. So that's the interesting part, and that's why this market cycle is similar to this market cycle, because you have a lot of new entrants. In this market cycle, you really didn't. It was the same people. So that's why I want to compare the two. You can see over here you had negative liquidity, then you had a bounce and another bounce, and that's why I think we're going to see here. This is a little bit more chaotic, but it's still similar. So you had that negative liquidity here, and this we could say is the same thing. And now we're getting that move down, which should open the door for that larger move up in liquidity. I think that's very interesting. If we look at the top of this, it's really comparable to this. So now we're looking for liquidity to come in a much larger fashion. Getting a pullback here makes sense. Total market cap did make a higher high than this. Get a little pullback, and I'm looking for anywhere from 5 to 8 trillion as far as a target. I think we do get to that upper number. It's possible that it does go a little higher. If it went 8 to 10 trillion, that would be even more interesting, and that would hit some higher targets in some of the tokens that I do hold. So that would be very interesting. So that's something I am keeping an eye on, and that is really what I'm trying to see. Let me jump over here to Bitcoin dominance. I know a lot of people do care about that. And okay, here we are. I'm charting it like a channel. I know some people put way too much time and effort into doing things. I try to keep it simple. This move down was gorgeous, very nice move down. This move up was pretty nice, and this move is very spastic. It really is. It's a channel up, but it's very spastic. I think when this channel breaks, we'll already be in alt season, but that'll be a very good very good sign that we are. So what I'm viewing is I think it's going to come down, find support, and then move up one more time, and then it starts to break. So what am I looking for? This hit 61.5%. I don't really get into percents. I don't really care that much. But 62 to 65 kind of makes sense. Is it going to go a little higher? I don't know. You'll have to really see what happens. But that's kind of what I'm looking for it to come down, make another move up, and then start to come down, so that way other tokens can get more dominant. So that's what I'm looking for with that. If we go into the S&P stock market, which is what I like to trade, we can compare it with global liquidity as well. Okay, so we look at, global liquidity started to take off here. You had a little bit of a sideways move in the market, but then it just started to move up. You had your negative liquidity, it went sideways. You had more liquidity, it went up. Low liquidity, and it kind of went sideways, but you can see a pattern. It just keeps going up, and then you have negative liquidity to low liquidity, it goes sideways, and now it's shooting back up again. And this is where it gets interesting. I'm looking for a target around 6,200. I talked about that in the private trading group. Is it going to come up and go ahead and hit it and then have a pullback and then go higher? Or is it going to have a pullback prior and then go a little higher? I kind of feel like it's going to hit it, then pull back and then go higher. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But very, very interesting. If we jump over here to the dollar real quick, you had a nice move up followed by a very sideways pattern. This move up, finding resistance here, is very interesting, and that's what I would be looking for if you want the market to go higher. Market going higher with the dollar, that can happen. So I'm not really putting that off the table. But what I'm looking for is for this to find resistance, and then if the dollar was to start selling off below 105, I would kind of start to think it can get down into this region here. So that's kind of what I would look for on this. Going over to the VIX, you can see that it is moving lower, and you're not really getting too much fear from US investors. August 5th was this, the week of August 5th was this massive candle right here. And ever since then, it's really been very muted. And that's what you want to see in a market that's going higher. You don't really want to see fear. You want to see the VIX stay low. Under 20, you really don't have much volatility. So people are just getting long and going back to sleep. Get up, get long, go back to sleep. Pretty much. Obviously, the market moves up and down. It's hard to time. But essentially, that's what the VIX is saying. So very, very interesting on that. I want to look at a trade that we did make last week. If I could type, let me jump down to a 15-minute. Make this chart less ugly. And that was Tesla did get long and took profit right up here. And now we're kind of just watching it. It's a little bit ugly. So have to really wait and see what plays out with that. But it was a very nice trade. CLSK was the same way. Got long, got out, and we actually did jump back in. So very interesting on that. That was a couple trades that we did take. That was very nice. In the private trading group, Bitcoin is very interesting down here, I think. So if we see price did come up, it didn't quite get to 100,000, which actually makes a lot of sense. And I think the reason for that is all the YouTubers were pumping Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to $5 million in 2025, all this crazy stuff, right? which brings me to a point, don't feed into the hype. Like, tokens are going higher. We all believe that the bull market's going to take everything higher, including Bitcoin. But a healthy market goes up and it goes down. And in an uptrend, it's going to go up and then have a little pullback, and it's going to go up and have a little pullback. So that's a healthy uptrend. If you saw something that just went up and never pulled back, that would be very scary. Because, and it's only happened a few times. If you go back to 1998, 1999, and actually those two dates are probably the best. 1998, 1999, look at US stocks, look at the stock market. You did have those parabolic moves. That was scary. And then you got the tech bubble burst, and some of those companies went to zero. So that's just to tell you, there can be parabolic moves, and a lot of times those are scary because they can't be sustained and they're very, very overvalued. Some of those companies did survive, but they got smacked down hard. One of those companies, Booking.com, which was Priceline at the time, got knocked down. I was buying around between $1 and $5, and that turned out to be well. Apple got knocked down. That would have been a nice win. Couple like I can't even remember the ones that went out of business, but there was a ton of tech companies just went straight out of business. But anyway, getting back to the story at hand, it didn't get to 100,000 and you had a little pullback. So this move here is not impulsive. It's choppy. It's 3 waves, which it's not the start of a downtrend. So that means this is going to find support. What would I ideally like to see? Great question. Thanks for asking. I would like to see support here, price to move up, maybe get some resistance up here, and then have another move down. I think that would look very good. And where do we get resistance? I would say probably between 96 and 99,000 if resistance is going to be found, but this move is very ugly. So I would think that coming up would be ugly, finding resistance, and that should take several days, I would think. And then coming down, that would take several days, which would set us up for back to the bull market starting next week in this particular scenario. So if this takes 2.5 days, then maybe 2 days to the downside, that would put us under 5 days. That could be very, very interesting and put us around beginning to midweek, maybe starting the bull market back. Really, we'll have to wait and see. This could get ugly, and in a corrective market, you can get choppiness, you can get ugliness. So really just a wait and see approach. We did make some good crypto trades last week. Had some meme tokens, had obviously Cardano, different tokens, Bitcoin. I started trading meme coins in the private trading group, not to hype them, but I'm trading large cap meme tokens. So that's been an interesting new twist for my own trading, because I was always anti meme token, but I do feel that they do have a place. It's interesting when you find something that you don't really know about and you're kind of against it, but then you do some research and you find out, hey, this can actually be a decent play. So very, very interesting on that. And with that, that's the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Have an awesome week. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'll see you around the markets, and take care.